Today, let's talk about food. Today, I want to share with you how I use my meal planning page on my iPad. If that sounds interesting, stay with me. Well, hi everyone, this is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today I am going to answer a viewer question about how I use my meal planning page and why I only have one meal planning page per month when there are multiple weeks during the month, okay? So I want to answer that question. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already. Turn your notification bells on, and please feel free to share this video with anyone who you might think might enjoy learning a little bit more about some meal planning. All right, well, I'm working on my iPad today, and I have my Apple Pencil. As you can see, my devices are not the newest and the latest and the greatest. This is a first generation pen, but this kind of thing still works even if you were typing it on your desktop or on your phone. It all works the same. So let's get into it. All right. You're going to see me looking down a lot because I am working on my iPad today. Please don't think I'm being rude, but I want to show you exactly what's going on here. Okay. All right. First of all, I am in my draw tool here, and I can choose a pen. I like to pick something pretty bright and colorful. So let's go with, I don't know, this kind of raspberry color. Maybe since I'm wearing purple today, I should choose purple. And then you can choose your pen thickness. I'm going to leave mine pretty thick so you guys can see what I'm writing, okay? All right, now that I have my pen chosen, I'm also going to get rid of all of these pages that you see over here on the far right-hand side. These are just my normal basic March pages that I have, my inbox, my dashboard, my meal planner, my daily pages, all that kind of stuff, okay? My personal meal planning page is always up there near the top. All right, so I'm going to get rid of these pages by hitting this double arrow over here, and that just clears out some space. This is a good overview of what my meal planning page looks like. This is the one that I am currently using, so you'll see different things written on there. Don't worry, I'll go through and explain those to you as we go, okay? So let me zoom in here so you can see really well what I'm talking about. And actually, I'm going to turn the orientation of my page. There you go. All right, so what I do is I set a page up for March, and then I just add the week that I need to add. I usually do this on Sunday. So what I'll do is I'll take my iPad and I'll go back into the kitchen, and I will simply look at whatever week is coming up. So the next week that's coming up would be March 30th to April 1st. Or April 5th, I'm sorry, okay? So that's the week that I'm going to be working on here. And then you see I have a couple of check boxes here. It says review the refrigerator, your pantry, and your freezer for items that need to be used, okay? Now what I have started doing a few months ago actually is as I go to the grocery store or as I accumulate things, leftovers or something like that, I've started making a list right here on this page. Usually I keep a big inventory for my freezer, but I have found that it's just easier if I just write it here on the side. So that's what this handwritten list is that you see over here, okay? We had, for example, we had bought a rotisserie chicken, and I know that when I buy a rotisserie chicken, I can make nachos out of that, or I can have salad, so that's what I've written there. I bought a pack of 4 pork chops, and I took those apart and divided them into 2 freezer bags, and so that's why I have 2 there, meaning for me, that's 2 meals for my husband and I. I did buy a big turkey breast for Easter, and so that's on the list. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. And then lasagna. We had a big event, and we had some leftover lasagna. So what I did is I portioned it out into takeaway containers, freezer containers that I could reuse. And I froze 3 portions of those. So that's 3 meals for my husband and I. Okay. Same thing with some chicken tortellini. We had a lot of that left over. So I have 5 of those. So on and so on. You go on down. I have a couple burgers in the freezer. I have a ham steak in the freezer. I had a pack of 4 hot dogs left in the freezer, that kind of thing. I tried some new orange chicken from Aldi's, and that was really good. So I have an extra one of those in the freezer. And ground turkey, I have 2 pounds of that if I need to make something. And then I tried a French onion ravioli. I used half of it, so I have at least another meal there. And I bought a big 4-pack of bacon because it was on sale. And I'm looking forward to BLTs this summer. So I went ahead and bought that bacon because it was a good price. Okay. And then you see down here in some janky handwriting, I have written the word jambalaya. My husband has asked, could we have some jambalaya? So I put that on the list too. Okay. Because I do have the fixings for that. I just haven't made it. So that's kind of a list of things that are in my freezer, that I know that I want to kind of use up. Okay. Same kind of thing goes for your pantry. I know that I have the things that I need for jambalaya. And so that, that's why I'm able to put it on my list as a meal. Okay. All right. The next thing that I do is I look in the refrigerator, and this little box here that says items to use this week, that's where I put those perishable things that might need to be used up. Okay. So when I open my refrigerator, I'll look in, and maybe I always have salad fixings. So I'm going to write salad fixings here, lettuce and cucumber and that kind of thing, because we do eat a lot of salads at our house. So that's always something that I need to kind of use up. Okay. Another thing that I have in my, refrigerator is some leftover chili. It's not really enough for a meal for my husband and I. I made it for a baked potato bar that I did with a group of friends. And so I just have just a little bit of chili left over. Okay. So I need to use that up. And also in there, the apples at the grocery store looked really good last week. So I ended up buying like 5 or 6 apples. So I need to do something to use those apples up. And that really is it. I have about 4 spaces there. I can add more if I need to, but this really is just a way to go through and look at what you're needing to use up. Okay. Now, this French onion ravioli, that is something that was a fresh last week, and it's not cooked leftovers, but it is an open package that needs to be used. So I'm going to write that down also. Okay, so that French onion ravioli, and I'm going to put a star next to that because I want to make sure that I use that this week. Okay. All right, so now I've gone through my refrigerator and my pantry and my freezer. I can put a little check mark there. And for me, it's also a good time to go through and clean out the fridge, as you're rooting around, oh, this isn't good anymore, and throw that out. And then wipe down anything that's, might be dirty or spilled in the refrigerator. Okay, so I can put a check there as well. Now over here, I have a place for some food goals because, I'm trying to be mindful for what I'm doing in the kitchen. We all need to lose weight. We all need to watch our blood sugar, all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. So one of my goals almost always is to eat more salads and fruits. So that's kind of always a food goal for me, okay? And then another food goal might be to try a new recipe or to try, to incorporate more, healthy items in your meal or something like that, all right? All right, so my other food goal for this year is little to no waste. And that means I don't want to be throwing out strawberries or something like that that go bad because I didn't get around to them. I want to use it up or throw it in the freezer, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do. Now I have another box down here that's important reminders. That might be, let's say it's somebody's birthday and you want to make sure that you're celebrating that birthday. Well, this upcoming week, when I looked at my calendar, I know that I am having dinner with a friend of mine. And so I'm going to mark that down there, and it's going to be on Thursday night, which is pizza night at one of our favorite restaurants. So we're going to go and split a pizza and spend a little bit of time together, okay? So I want to remember that as well, okay? Now, as you see here, I do have a master meals list, and that list is really just a list of foods that I know that my family likes. Let me show it to you. All right, so this is a list that I actually wrote in my paper planner, and I took a picture of it. And this picture is probably, I think, from 2019. So it's kind of old. But then what I did is I went ahead and I made a table list for myself. And I have things that my daughter likes because she is a pescatarian, meaning she eats chicken, but that's about it as far as meat goes. So things that my daughter likes, and then things that we eat rarely. And I broke it down by things like salads, soups, chicken, pasta, pork, beef, turkey, breakfast items, and then vegetarian things, okay? And at the bottom, I have our favorite takeouts and seafood down there, okay? All right, so this is kind of helpful for me if I'm stuck and I don't know what else, that we might like to do, okay? Now, going back to my March meal planner here, let's see. What I do then is I can go on down here to my meal plan, and this is a place where I can simply write in the things that I know are happening this week, okay? So first of all, I know for dinner on Thursday that we are having pizza with my friend, so I'll write that in there so I know I don't have to do anything for that. Now, leading up to that, I know that I'm trying to work on eating this French onion ravioli and the salad fixings and some chili, okay? So I know that I have this French onion ravioli, so that probably will be one of the first meals that I make early in the week. So I'm going to write that in here for Monday night. French onion ravioli. Okay, because I know that I have everything for that. All right. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use up that chili. And I know that I have over here on my freezer list, I know I have some hot dogs. So guess what? Tuesday night, we're having chili dogs. Okay, but I know in looking at my pantry that I do not have hot dog buns. So while I am making this list right now, I'm going to scroll farther on down the page, and I am going to look at my grocery list, which is right here, okay? And if I look at my grocery list, I know that I already have on here a bread section, okay? So over here I have honey wheat bread, down here, and I have buns, all right? Now next to that, I'm going to write hot dog like that so that I'll know when I'm at the grocery store that I need to get hot dog buns, okay? All right, so that takes care of the chili, and that takes care of the French onion ravioli. Now, before I go out to dinner, I'm going to do a nice salad on Wednesday night, and I'm going to use some rotisserie chicken and an apple to slice up on my salad, okay? So that will take care of the salad fixings, the chili, the apples, and the French onion ravioli, okay? Now, that leaves me with Friday night, And what I like to do sometimes is I like to make something on Friday night that can be used throughout the weekend. Okay. So my husband's been asking for jambalaya. And so I'm going to put that on here. And if I don't even spell it right, I don't even care because I know what it is, jambalaya. And I know that I have everything for that. I already have the rice. I have some chicken breast in the freezer. I have a sausage and I have a can of tomatoes, Rotel, that I like to use in my jambalaya. Okay. Now, I know whenever we go to dinner and we get pizza, there's always leftover pizza. So I'm going to put pizza back on the list for Saturday evening, okay? And I know that when we make jambalaya, there's going to be leftovers of that as well, okay? So I'm going to add that to Sunday. Now, these things may change during the week depending on, what happens and that kind of thing. But I know right off the bat that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 meals ready that I can use for this week. And if I make that jambalaya or something comes up and I do something different on Friday night, I can do jambalaya on Saturday or Sunday. So I have at least 5 meals that I know are ready to go for me during the week. Okay. And then again, if I'm going through here and I know that I need something, like I might want to get some cheddar cheese because if I make a chili dog, I'm going to put cheese on top of it. And when I was looking in the fridge, I've got about a half a block of cheese left. And so I'm going to go down here again to my grocery list. And this grocery list I laid out in the order that all these is laid out. If you want to see how I did that, there is a video about that. I'll leave it linked for you up above and down below in the description box. But basically what I did last April, they rearranged my Aldi's. And so I went through and did some videotaping and made a list of how the aisles are now laid out. And then I came over here and I made my grocery list based on the things that I buy generally and the aisles that they might be in. Okay, so the cheddar cheese is over here on the back wall right there. So I will highlight that. And now I know that I need cheddar cheese. Okay. So when I go to the grocery store, I will open up this list and I will take a look at it. And anything that's highlighted or written in, like those hot dog buns, I need some more spinach, I need some more cucumbers, and I need some cheddar cheese. So far, that's what's on my list. As I go through the week, I can add more things if I need to. But when I go to the grocery store, what happens is, if I'm doing the grocery shopping, I will come in here with my eraser right here, and I will erase. When I get something and put it in my cart, I will erase it so that when my list is clean, I know that I have bought everything that I need, okay? My husband doesn't do it that way. If my husband is grocery shopping and something is highlighted like this, he will take another colored pen on his phone and he will say, I bought the spinach, I bought the cucumbers, and he'll just mark through them like that, okay? Everybody does it differently and it doesn't matter to me so long as the right groceries come home. All right, let me clean this up, take those away. Let me write my hot dogs back in there so that I don't forget them when I go shopping, okay? And really, that's it. And when the groceries are done and this list is cleaned off, that's great. And then when the week is over and I sit down to meal plan again for the upcoming week, I start at the very top again. I take my eraser and I just go through and erase everything. So next week will be, I'll just clear it like that and I'll just go ahead and write in April 6th through, whatever it happens to be. And if I've used something over here, I can also go ahead and erase those. So I can erase the hot dogs that I got out of the freezer. I can erase the French onion ravioli. And I can add anything else that may have come into the house to this list that I want to be sure that I use. Okay? All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed seeing how I use my meal planner week after week after week, and that way I only need one. When April rolls around, I will just leave this one in March. I may circle and copy that entire list of foods that I have written down. This one here, I will simply go in here and take my lasso tool and circle all of those things. And then I can copy that and move it forward to my April meal planner. So I have an accurate list. I don't have to rewrite it every time. And that works really, really well. But anyway, I keep thinking of more and more things to tell you guys. Oh, well. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I use my meal planner, and hopefully it's given you some ideas that might help you use your own meal planner in a different way. All right, well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.